وما أرسلنا قبلك إلا رجالا نوحي إليهم فاسألوا أهل الذكر إن كنتم لا تعلمون.
بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Few words inshallah ta'ala regarding the ruling of protesting. It is clear from the fatwa of the major scholars of this ummah that protesting is haram. So, وَلِلَّهِ الْحَمْدِ, the fatwa, the statement of the ulama, the recording, audios, books are full of this. Barakallahu fikum. The like of Sheikh Ibn Baz, the like of Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen, the like of Sheikh Al-Albani, Sheikh Muqbil, and others. وَلِلَّهِ الْحَمْدِ, in different countries. And they all, وَلِلَّهِ الْحَمْدِ, agreed that this type of actions, which is to protest, is haram. When we look into the protest, ikhwan, we look into it in two ways. We look into the protest by itself. Is it allowed or not allowed? And we need to look into what is actually happened within the protest. So let's, for argument's sake, let's say for those who believe is allowed, just for the argument's sake, let's say for those who believe protesting is allowed, there's no doubt that what happened within the protest, it is haram. So one should not be part of this, should not be a helper in spreading this haram. This is very important. So even for argument's sake, for those who do think it is allowed, what actually happened within the protest, people missing the salat, slogans which are contradictory to the teaching of Islam, mixity, music, and so on and so forth. We can go on and go on. All of these will make the protest in itself haram. So one should ask himself, before going to those protests, has the Salaf, has the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did that? Did the Sahaba themselves, Ridwanullahi alayhim, they used to protest for every time they have problem with the rulers or they have a problem with whatever problem is? Of course no. This is not the way of the Salaf, ikhwan, Jazaakumullahu Khayr. And we don't have much time to refute all those ambiguities, and such that Umar, when he became a Muslim, he went out with some of the Sahaba and Hamza and so on and so forth to Quraysh, and he said, look, they protesting against Quraysh, so therefore we are allowed to do so. Jazaakumullah. All these are weak and munkara and da'ifa, so we should not be used it as a dalil. There's no such a thing in the deen. Protest is something that came from the Western countries, not from the Muslim countries. So therefore it is resembling the kuffar. To resemble the kuffar, the imitation of the kuffar. That's what we do. That's what those who go to protests are doing, are resembling themselves. Because at the end of the day, to protest is to change to change, is to forbid the evil. And al-amru bil ma'ruf, enjoy good and forbidding evil, part of the deen. It's part of the deen. It is part of the deen. That's why when it comes to these matters of al-amr bil ma'ruf, is it just a mean, a wasila? It's not a ghaya. It's not an aim, it's not a goal, it's just a mean. Then we ask them, did the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam could have done and the salaf the means, and you refuse and you choose not to? Then yes, he could have, and he did not do that. So it can be maslaha rashida, or cannot be a mean after that. So it becomes an imitation of the kuffar. And if it's done in a Muslim country, it will not only be going against the right of Allah, it will be going against the right of the ruler himself. Because this is the way of the khuruj. If he's in a Muslim country. And it will lead to destabilize the country. Likewise, within the protest, there's a lot of animosity, anger. Clashes between the people themselves, or the people against the security, against the army, against the police, and so on and so forth. How could this be a legitimate means? Ya ikhwan. Likewise, protesting is one of the means that Ahl al-Ilm says for the people who want to do mischief to infiltrate themselves within the protesters and do more harm than khair and than good. Not only that, ya ikhwan, while you're protesting, while you're doing all of this, you're blocking the roads. Shops have to close. Some of the shops will close out of fear. To be part of reviving the bid'ah and killing the son of the Prophet ﷺ at the time of calamities. And what is said, ya ikhwan, when you do this protest, it makes you think as if you've done your bit. Let's give the example of what happened in Gaza, in Palestine. There are a lot of people, and I've seen myself some of the videos, people dancing, boys, Muslim and girls exchanging numbers, music, things that come out of the people, you can even begin to describe the rudeness. عافانا الله وإياكم. There's no khair that comes out of it. And not all that, the people who were there, mainly, they haven't done nothing to Palestine. Indeed, we have to have our brothers in Palestine. Dig deep inside your pocket. You want to show your love for Palestine? For all the Muslims around the world, not only Palestine, mainly Palestine nowadays. Dig deep inside your pocket and show your love to no one but to yourself. You know what Palestine means to you. So a lot of people, a lot of youth, if they hear someone like me saying about protesting that you should not be going and it is not from the Sunnah, listen to the ulama, or they go, he hasn't done nothing for Palestine, as if you've done anything. You haven't. You want for a day out as fun. You're meeting your friends. Don't lie to yourself. Do not lie to yourself. And you think you've done your bit. That's not done. It's not doing your bit. And then you go home with the roof over your head, with the tap water and the hot water and the cozy bed and the hot food. But your brothers in Palestine, your protest has done nothing to them. Please, Jazaakumullahu Khayr, don't lie to yourself and say, oh, just let the world know. Who does not know the affair of Palestine? Most of you claim to know the reality of the matter. Everybody knows. Everybody knows the Sahayina, the Zionists, what they do. America clearly says this is what they're doing. They're going to back Israel. We know that. The whole world, apart from the Muslims, and some of the Muslims are not even talking, let alone the kuffar. Did the million protests at the time of Iraq stopped Tony Blair bombarding and killing our brothers and sisters in Iraq? No, it hasn't. We never learn. You never learn, ya ikhwan, ma'al asaf al-shadid. That's a fact. The truth always hurts. Show your love by donating. Show your love by keep thinking about Gaza and the brothers in Palestine and making dua. How many times have you made dua for your brothers? How many times have you helped? Did you organize fundraising? Awareness in your website? For to go Saturday in the weekend, the day that suits you, to dance and run and swear and exchange numbers, and you think that you're better than anyone else because you protest for Gaza, or because they insulted the Prophet ﷺ, or they've done the caricature, and you think and you're the furthest away from the Sunnah. You have to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if today we are part of so-called protest, and you trying to emphasize the numbers, oh, 1 million people did that, and regardless who is with you, who is beside you. I'm not talking about the mubtadi'ah only, no. I'm talking about the kuffar that comes and help. Tomorrow the same kuffar will protest. Afana Allahu iyyakum, for homosexual, for equalities between the two, and so on and so forth. What would you do then? You know, one of the best things that I read, and I will share this with you, is what Sheikh al-Albani rahmatullahi alayh. Sheikh al-Albani rahmatullahi alayh, he was asked, he says, a person asked him in the dars, in one of the audios, he says that people in America, one for protests against in Washington, a Congress, and so on and so forth. And all of this to stop the kuffar helping in the time of Bosnia, the Serbs and others, to kill our brothers and sisters in Bosnia. Not only, they're not doing something that they should be doing, they're getting angry with those who are advising them, or those who have not taken part of this. The Sheikh says, Allahu Akbar, not as if he agree with them. Because the person who was asking the question, he said, we advised them so many times in our sermons that this is not from the deen. We advised them that they should not be doing this. But we want a statement from you, Ya Sheikh, regarding this. And this is in America. So it's not protesting in a Muslim country, because people think there's a difference. A Sheikh Rahmatullahi alayhi says a beautiful statement, and no one think of this. To prove the Sheikh not only he has the ilm of the akhirah, he has the ilm of the dunya. He knows the affair of the Muslims. And we do know what the Sheikh was talking about, but we intend to close our eyes and pretend this is not true. The Sheikh says, this is the epic of humiliation from the Muslims. Why? How could the Muslim go and ask the kafir? Muslim should not ask the kafir. And he is the hadith Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he said, Al-yadul ulya khayrun min al-yadi sufla. The upper hand, the hand that gives, is better than the hand that receives. So we as a Muslim protesting, the kuffar are better than us because we are asking the kuffar. We're not asking Allah. We are asking the kuffar. We are begging the kuffar. And it's the kafir who organized that for you. If the kafir says you're not allowed to go and protest, you will not be able to do so. So he only provide you with the platform, he provide you with the police. And then he says that the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when the Sahaba give him bay'ah, some of the Sahaba, from what they promised when he gave him alliance, قال ألا يسأل الناس شيئا, that you should not be asking people. And then he, rahmatullahi alayhi, said this is general. This is general. And he said some of the Salaf used to be riding a camel or a horse and he dropped his stick and he would not ask anyone. A pedestrian, which is the easiest things, to ask someone to pick up that thing, give it to you instead of you going down or off the animal and get down and go up again. He said they would do this because of the promise that they give the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And this is the total reliance of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And then the Shaykh says, and I will read what the Shaykh says. It's on the audio. أما أن المسلمين يطلبون حقوقهم من الكافرين. And the Muslim to ask for the right from the kuffar. وهم أهل حرب وأهل قتال واستعمروا البلاد الإسلامية بطرق شتى بعضها ظاهرة وبعضها خفي. We asking the people, Muslims asking those people, the kuffar, the people who declare war, the people of war, the people who colonize the Muslim countries in such different ways. Some of the ways are clear-cut. Barakallahu fikum. The occupation of many countries. And some of the occupation are not direct, are hidden. قال ومع ذلك نجير لأنفسنا نحتج ونطالب بحقوقنا عندهم. After all of this, we allow ourselves to go and ask. He said, Allahul Musta'an. And then he brought the verse, وَلَنْ يَجْعَلَ اللَّهُ لِلْكَافِرِينَ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ سَبِيلًا. Kafir doesn't have the upper hand on the Muslim. So نسأل الله أن يلهمنا العمل بديننا وأن نفهمه فهما صحيحا. Allah give us, aid us to act and give us a better understanding. Look how the Shaykh, look at this matter. And this is the truth. This is the truth, ikhwan. Nothing have changed so far. It's all the same politic. that the Sheikh Al-Albani, rahmatullahi alayhi, understood better than as if he is with us today, and he knows. So instead of you falling into bid'ah and falling into haram and wasting your time and going exchanging numbers with sisters and standing beside the kafir and lifting slogans who might be against the Sharia and believing this is your duty towards your brothers, and you think this is all you have to do, and wasting all of this for nothing, because at the end of the day your protest would not change anything in Palestine or in Gaza. Like it didn't change before the invasion of Iraq and Libya recently. Nothing have changed. But what you could do is to dig deep inside your pocket and help your brothers and sisters in Palestine. And see how much your brothers and sisters in Palestine means to you. Only then you can prove that to yourself. The affair of Palestine, it is important to your heart. Because this is a fact, ya ikhwan. Today's Palestine, within a week or two, everything will be forgiven and forgotten. We're going to forget everything. We're going to forget everything within a week or two. And then the kuffar is going to drag you somewhere else in other Muslim. Where's our brothers in Rohingya? Where's our brothers in Central Africa? Where's our brothers in Iraq, the Sunni brothers who have been tortured up to today? Brothers in Syria. In most of the Muslim countries. Even in India. Our brothers in India have been oppressed. Nothing have changed, ya ikhwan. When the ulama will give you the solution, not only you go against it, you start doubting those ulama. And you like those who will push you. But he's sitting at home or he's somewhere in Turkey. But he is pushing you by giving a sermon or two. But he hasn't done nothing himself. No one of his family or his kids has been sent to protest or to go for war in any countries. But he has the freedom to speak and to send all the kids, all the Muslims youth. For what? Ya ikhwan. Jazaakumullahu Khayr. Don't think this in the wrong way. Barakallahu fikum. Every Muslim in the world is our brother. And every sister in the world is our sister. And if there's anything that we can do, then we should do. We should help them. But in the means that are legislated by the Sharia. Not only that, fruitful means as well. Do you really believe, and each one of you who is planning to go tomorrow, do you really believe deep inside you that by you protesting tomorrow, if it's tomorrow, that the occupation of Palestine going to stop, the settlement of the Sofiane will stop, and the killing will stop? Be honest. I don't need to answer this. You know what the answer is. You know what the answer is. You know what the answer. So when you do something, always look into the action you do. How truthful you are, how sincere you are. Are you really doing it for the sake of Allah? Or are you just doing it because it's just That's a day out. Maybe tomorrow will be sunny. Maybe we meet some of the friends. Let's have fun. Some of you doing it because of curiosity. Meeting women, meeting men. And even if you're doing it for the correct and the right reason, look at the action itself. Is it the action of the Sunnah? And even if you disagree with me, and you say this is the mean, we're not going to go into this because it takes us a long time. I can prove, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, this is not true. The means, Jazaakumullahu Khayr, that could have been done in time of the Prophet ﷺ, and Nabi ﷺ, know the Salaf decide to act upon it, then we should know. كما قال إمام مالك ما لم يكون أنا ذاك دين فلن يكون اليوم دين. And this is why of الأمر بالمعروف والنهي عن المنكر is part of our deen. This is نصرة الدين ونصرة الإخوان. Don't tell me this is dunya. We're not doing it for dunya, we're doing it for deen. So even for argument's sake, if you do disagree with me and you believe some of those so-called fast food du'at and shuyukh, forgive me for the wording, are on the internet to try to please you, whatever the people, the mass of the people believe, and they know how to tickle your sort of your feeling, and you know how to please you, just for argument's sake. Be honest to yourself and look and see at the outcome of this. There's nothing will come out of it. And look what happened. The mixity, people missing the salat, people fighting each other, the haram that exists, not only mixity. This is for the people, brothers saying, changing numbers, music, dancing, running. This is not part of the deen, ikhwan. You might not agree with me, but what you agree with me is to help the Muslims, to help our brothers in Gaza. And this is not going to help them. And you will make you think that you've done your bit. This is not doing your bit. And I keep saying that. Put your hand in your pocket deep and see what Gaza means to you. See what Palestine means to you. أسأل الله أن يجعلني وإياكم ممن يستمعون القول ويتبعون أحسنه. أسأل الله أن يهديني وإياكم لما اختلفنا فيه. And I advise you, Jazaakumullahu Khayr, for the sake of Allah, to be careful. Barakallahu fikum. And to act upon the haqq, act upon the sunnah, and be sincere. If you're in doubt, call upon Allah Azza wa Jal. And that's the thing as well we intend to forget. The power of the dua. The power of the dua. And that is very important. And that is what we lost, afan Allah yakum, within the ummah. We rely on the kuffar more than Allah Azza wa Jal. How could we be victorious, ya ikhwan? How could we be victorious, ya ikhwan? I have no doubt in my heart, because the Prophet ﷺ told me and he promised me that the Jew in Palestine will be kicked out and killed. And the tree will expose the Jew who will hide behind it. He say, Ya Abdullah, to the Muslim or servant or a slave of Allah, he is the Jew behind me, kill him. We're not saying the Jews, what we hear to kill the Jews. No. It's a prediction when Nabi Sallallahu, this is what the Nabi Sallallahu told us in the hadith, for those who are occupying the land of Palestine. The land of Palestine. Jazaakumullahu Khayr wa barakallahu fikum. Wallahu ta'ala a'la wa a'lam. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.